If you have questions, we have answers. Join us live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Talkin' RV Tech, presented by RVTravel.com.
Here's a sample from one of our recent shows.
Brett has, how often are you seeing dump cable, valve cables breaking? I have a fear one will break at some point and be stuck with a full tank. I oil the valve handle compartments every camping trip with Croil deep penetrating oil. The older oil tends to get sticky sometimes, so I may be overdoing it. How often should I oil, and do you recommend a specific oil?
So most of your dump valve cables are in a casing, and it's just basically sliding in and out. You don't typically have to lube those at all. What you really need to lube is the actual dump valve itself. So there's products out there that's made by Volterra and Camco that are called drain valve lubricant. And inside the valve, I'm trying to see where my hands could show you the right way. As the blade is traveling in and out, exactly, there we go. As the blade is going in and out, it's the actual blade that will get clogged up with the stuff around the seal that causes that bind, causes that pulling. So when the cables usually come loose, and that's a manual hand, but when the cables come loose, some of them are put in with like an Allen screw. So it's just a cable into it with a nut, and it's just tightening up. Some of them are a Phillips nut. Some of them are just bent in. So if it gets jammed up because something gets in there, too much debris, if you're not flushing the tanks good enough, if you're not using the drain valve lubricant, when you pull hard on that, you're actually yanking that piece of metal out of the valve. Then you'll be stuck with a full tank, which means you'll have to get up in there and disconnect it and pull it.
Yep. And so here's how, if you have a cable driven system, that means that your valve, this thing, is
right back. I'm going to grab one so I can show you.
Yep, way inside. So your tank's underneath, and instead of this handle here, there's a cable hooked to it. So your handle's over in the service compartment, 10 feet away, 12 feet away. Let's get back here. Put me on. And so when you pull the handle, it's that cable's pulling this in here. And he's exactly right. Your resistance is going to come mostly from this blade going in and out. So a good valve lube will work in there. I am not familiar with the Croil system as you stated in there, but I do know that Volterra says do not use WD-40 because there is an inherent lubricant that is in here. They recommend a silicone, a dry silicone that you can squirt on there and then wipe it off. I believe I have, there's a couple new products. Corrosion X is one that recently came to my attention that I use. And then I also use the CRC silicone and wipe it off because it doesn't give you that oily thing. You start doing that and you're going to collect dust and dirt and those things.
So this is a Bristol cable dump valve, and it's coiled up because it's not installed. And there's where your handle would screw into so you can pull it in and out. The only real issues are this one inside there, that's an Allen that's right there. And so as you can see that piece of metal that's stuck into it and it's tightened up with an Allen, that if you pull too hard, you can pull that out. On the end of this, there's another set screw right here. That's actually holding the jacketing in place. So again, if you pull too hard and it pulls the jacketing or the rod, you'll pull it out of the valve itself. So the valve is just disconnected now at that point. It's either open or closed.
Yep.
So when you're thinking, hey, I'm going to lube this shaft that's right here. So this shaft that's opening and closing, that's not really doing anything. There's already lubricant stuff inside the casing, and it's made to flow back and forth through it.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep. We don't see a whole lot of the cables that are breaking. It's just a matter of doing a little bit of maintenance and put a little bit of that down the drain valve.
Join us live this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Talkin' RV Tech.
You can join us on any of the YouTube or Facebook destinations linked below.
We hope to see you there.